Good day. This is Orly Taitz, and today is September 11th. It's the day of commemoration of the attack on the United States of America, 9/11, when a group of Muslim terrorists flew into World Trade Center, Pentagon, and one other airplane, of course, as we know, crashed in Pennsylvania. So, what do we have to show for during these 12 years? What was done? What are the results? Where is the United States as America, as a country? Well, first of all, we know that a year ago, on the anniversary of 9/11, US Ambassador Rick Stevens was killed in Benghazi, Libya. And what was done about it? Absolutely nothing. We had some show uh, in the US Congress, just a performance where a number of US congressmen asked few questions and did absolutely nothing. Not one single person was relieved of his duties. Not one single person was prosecuted. It's unbelievable. It's unthinkable that a number of reporters were able to meet with the terrorists that were involved in this murder of the US ambassador. And FBI and CIA are claiming that they cannot find them, they cannot bring them to justice, which is hard to believe. Whistleblowers have reported that they were told by their superiors to stay silent and not to cooperate with the US Congress. What the US Congress was supposed to do by now was file contempt charges against the director of CIA, against the superiors that are not cooperating, and forward it to the US Attorney, to the Department of Justice. And if Department of Justice refuses to prosecute them, then they were supposed to file specific motion and seek a leave of court to step in the shoes of the US Attorney's Office and litigate this matter. Nothing was done so far. Just as I said, a little bit of a show. Now, just yesterday, Hillary Clinton has received a Liberty Medal from Jeb Bush. From the medal was given to her by Jeb Bush on behalf of the Constitutional Center in Philadelphia. This was just adding insult to injury. Why? Why did Hillary Clinton receive a Liberty Medal? Hillary Clinton did not achieve anything. Absolute zero. So far, all she's done was basically complicity. She was complicit in the cover-up and fraud of American citizens and US Congress when she and others were claiming that the murder of the US ambassador happened because of some stupid video that was some little video that was done by a gentleman residing in the US that hardly anybody ever saw, while they had reports from the CIA stating that this was the attack specifically on 9/11 by Al-Qaeda connected groups, and the US ambassador was killed by members of those Al-Qaeda linked groups. It's interesting that during the hearing, Hillary Clinton was asking, why does it matter? Well, it does matter. It does matter where our former Secretary of State and current candidate for US President is lying, is covering up, is complicit in falsification of the official report that was issued by the CIA. That does matter. I believe that people who should have received this Liberty Medal were Glenn Doherty, Sean Smith, and Tyron Woods, 3 former Navy SEALs who fought for 8 hours trying to save the life of the US ambassador. They are the people who were supposed to receive the Liberty Medal. Hillary Clinton, former representative at the United Nations, Susan Rice, and Barack Obama, and their underlings should be criminally prosecuted for their part in this affair. Further on, we have now, as I stated, a commemoration of 9/11. Barack Obama has appeared at the 9/11 memorial. However, we're yet to have a hearing on the merits and prosecution of Barack Obama in relation to his use of a stolen social security number and fabricated IDs. Here I have SSNVS. I'll try to put it close to the camera so you can see better. This is an official report from Social Security Number Verification Systems. And you can see that Social Security number that Barack Obama is using, and this is the number that he is using in his Selective Service Registration, 042684425. This is the number that he used in his tax returns in 2009, failed SSNVS, Social Security Number Verification Systems. Here is an official report, and I'll put it closer to the camera. Official report from E-Verify that's showing that Social Security number that Barack Obama is using in his tax returns is a bogus number. So 12 years after 9/11, we have a con artist, a charlatan, sitting in the White House with a stolen Social Security number, fabricated IDs, and we're yet to find one judge with honesty and integrity that would do anything about it, or one member of Congress that will do anything about it. So far, all of the cases were dismissed on technicality. Not one case was heard on the merits. Further on, I'm asking the viewers to go to my website, orlytatesesq.com. O-R as in Rita, L as in Lena, Y, Taitz, T as in Tom, A-I, T as in Tom, Z as in Zoo, Orly Taitz, ESQ, like Esquire.com. And on the right-hand side of the website, you will see a petition to the U.S. Congress that today has 55,000 signatures. 55,000 American citizens petitioned the U.S. Congress. It's exercised their right to petition their grievance, asking U.S. Congress to hear on the merits the issue of the usurpation of the U.S. presidency by an individual who is using fabricated IDs and a stolen Social Security number. And nothing was done. Absolutely nothing. Today, we were supposed to have a hearing in the U.S. Congress on the issue of extending the debt ceiling. Barack Obama came to power promising responsibility, accountability. Nothing of a kind has happened. He has incurred $7 trillion of additional debt on top of $10 trillion that we already had. Today, we have $125 trillion of unfunded obligations of Social Security, Medicare, and other social programs. The numbers are staggering. If you add all of the unfunded liabilities of different social programs of federal government, which is most of the programs, it's in federal government, and some state government programs, we have $500,000 per person in unfunded obligations. $50,000 per person in debt. The numbers are absolutely staggering. And today, when we were supposed to have a hearing whether to allow the US government to continue spending like drunken sailors, we have nothing. There was no hearing. Nobody said a word. No Democrats, no congressmen, no Republican congressmen. There is zero accountability by people sitting in Washington, D.C. Furthermore, from May 17th, we have seen that in spite of unprecedented spending, Treasury Secretary Jack Lew is claiming that national debt did not go up by 1 cent. However, we have seen that every month the deficit was $100 billion or more. Last month it was $146 billion. So what happened? Well, the answer is simple. They're simply taking money from the accounts of federal employees. There is federal employees disability, retirement and disability account, and they're taking $100 billion every month from this account. From May 17th until October 1st, it's projected to be over $500 billion. Not one congressman, be it Democrat or Republican, had decency to state one word about this travesty. We're talking about accounts of people that gave their lives. Members of the US military, FBI, DA, Secret Service. From their accounts, the money is taken. And what is being done? It's just being squandered. I'm asking everyone to read a book by Peter Schweitzer called Throw Them All Out, where he describes where for every dollar donated by Obama supporters and supporters of the Democratic Party, they received $25,000 back, kickbacks, in the form of federal grants or federally guaranteed loans. This is travesty. This is grand theft. If it would have been a private company, all those people would have been in prison, serving lengthy terms, and nothing is being done. It shows the magnitude of corruption. We have seen that during Obama administration, the number of adult Americans in the workforce went down by 10 million people. We have 10 million people less working. As a matter of fact, the lowest number of people in the labor force for the past 35 years. The recovery is nothing but a myth, a fraud, make-believe, just a story. We do not have recovery. We have millions of Americans. As a matter of fact, a total of 102 million American citizens who are either unemployed or not in the workforce. And absolutely nothing is being done by the government. To add insult to injury, now our corrupt politicians in the US Congress are trying to push the immigration bill or Kids Act. What is it? Well, that's bringing more cheap labor and throwing Americans aside, throwing aside American citizens. The moment all of those illegals will be getting their legal status, not even citizenship, legal status, they will be competing with American citizens for very scarce jobs. American citizens are calling their congressmen in large numbers, demanding to stop this travesty. No to immigration reform, no to Kids Act, and nobody's listening. As a matter of fact, Kids Act is supposed to be a law that would grant legal status only to people who claim to have come here before, as children before age 18 or age 16. But the problem with this is that all of them came here illegally. We do not know when exactly did they come. And if they're lying about their status, why wouldn't they lie about the time they came to this country? Chances are each and every one of them will state that he came to this country before the age of 16. Nobody in the media is talking about it. Nobody in US Congress is talking about it. Why is it happening? I believe it's corruption. Just recently, Edward Snowden has given us information about NSA spying on the US citizens and hacking or getting into their bank accounts, their phone accounts, getting their emails. There was a report about the government, federal government, getting information, the healthcare information, healthcare reports of California judges. When something like this is happening, any judge can be intimidated or blackmailed because the government has all the information on each and every judge. His health report. Well, what if this judge suffers from depression? What if he undergoes some psychiatric treatment? What if he has some questionable financial affairs? When the government has all this information, it can blackmail any judge. It means we, the citizens, have no system of justice. This is frightening, and this is happening post 9/11. Further on, our government and our Congress continue with WTO GET. What is WTO GET? It's an agreement, World Trade Organization Global Accord on Tariffs and Trade. This is a bill that was signed into law by Bill Clinton and was continued by George Bush and now is continued by Barack Obama. With WTO GET, all of the tariffs that protected American jobs were dismantled. We have now free trade with China. But let's not forget, China is a communist tyranny, communist dictatorship. They have no free speech. They have 5 million people sitting in camps, in labor camps. They are working for $1 an hour. Americans cannot compete with that. And therefore, since Clinton signed WTO GET, 56,000 manufacturing facilities and factories have closed. 28 million American citizens have lost their jobs. Terrible numbers. And nobody in US Congress is talking about it. Nobody in the media is talking about it. Not even Fox, which provides a little bit of opposition to the mainstream media. Even Fox, not O'Reilly, not Hannity, not Five, not Greta Van Susteren, absolutely nobody would talk about the fact that in order to get out of this hole, not only we need to cut this drunken sailor spending that is coming from Barack Obama and the Democratic Party, but also we need to either rescind or renegotiate WTO GET. United States of America will not get out of this deep depression, of this enormous debt and enormous unemployment until and unless this agreement is rescinded or renegotiated. We can have free trade with countries where the labor is of similar value, similar cost, like Canada, like Western European countries. But American citizens cannot compete with slave labor in China or other third world countries. It's impossible. And the situation will become more and more grim. Therefore, I'm asking each and every citizen, each and every viewer, please call your congressman, call him urgently and tell him, you have to speak up now, before October 1st, as Barack Obama and Democratic Party want another carte blanche to spend like drunken sailors $3.5 trillion when they get only $2 trillion, on average 1.2 to 1.5 trillion of deficit per year. Tell them no on carte blanche, no on immigration reform, no on Kids Act. Investigate Benghazi. Cut your spending. We cannot afford Obamacare today. We have to either defend it or postpone funding of Obamacare until 2014 when it kicks in for corporations. And you have to start talking about the need for renegotiation or rescinding of WTO GATT. Recently, actually yesterday, Barack Obama spoke on national TV. He spoke about situation in Syria. Let's be serious. Can United States of America go to any country, start any military action when it is in such deep debt? It cannot. It's impossible. We are borrowing money from China, and China is opposing us in Syria and in other areas of the world, Syria, Iran. You cannot borrow from your enemy. It's insane. It's absolutely idiotic. Furthermore, we are getting important parts for different equipment that we need for our national security by getting them from China. You cannot get essential parts from your enemy. Those have to be manufactured in the United States of America. United States of America cannot succeed in the international arena until and unless we clean up our act here, until we have some sanity in our finances. Without being bankrupt is not the way to start any wars. We have to address the issues of enormous debt and even more enormous unfunded obligations. So please concentrate on the issue of debt and unfunded obligations. I suspect that this whole issue with Syria could have been a wag the dog scenario for Barack Obama and Democratic Party to sway attention from the issue of debt and spending. Please be alert. Please call every senator and every congressman and demand no signing of increasing the debt ceiling until and unless we have some serious and significant cuts in spending, and until and unless we rescind WTO GATT, possibly NAFTA, and bring American jobs back to America. Only when Americans are working again can we increase our revenues, significantly increase our revenues, pay our debts, and then we'll be strong enough to be a force on international arena. Thank you, and God bless you.